Hello and welcome to an Aniview special update. I'm Lizel and today I'm going to be talking about our newest affiliation with the D2Brigade. So for this episode, I'm going to be talking about how we got affiliated with the D2Brigade and what they do. This all started a few weeks ago when I got in contact with Vixen, a member of the D2Brigade, and asked her if she wanted to collaborate on a project. And now, while she said that the D2Brigade is a little bit too busy right now to do any sort of collaboration, she would like to do one in the future, but for now, she'd definitely be happy to become affiliates. And so, after she spent some time confirming it with the rest of the D2Brigade, they've all agreed, and now we are officially affiliates. So they're going to be updating their site soon and saying that we're affiliates on their page, and we're going to be doing this special update to show that how much we appreciate them and how much we're happy to become affiliates with them. Now, the reason I originally contacted them is because I really have a great appreciation and respect for their reviews, and they're the only reviewers out there on the internet that I consistently watch, as well as Leon. And so we're really happy to become affiliates with them, and I'd like to talk a little bit about the history that we have with the Desu Brigade, their full name, and how we got to know them originally. So way back when Aniview first started, me and Leon went across all of YouTube to try to figure out what other reviewers are out there and what kind of styles they used, what we could use from there and make our own review show out of. And one person we came across who was starting up the exact same time as us was a little reviewer called Yesu Talk. And now her reviews had a great quality to them. She was very analytical in her way of speaking and her way of talking about the series, and we were inspired by her. And so, after a little while longer of doing Aniview and continuously watching Yesu Talk, we learned that she became part of a crew of anime reviewers called the D2Brigade, and they started their own website, and we got to know this whole crew of new reviewers. So, I'm going to go through each of them right now and talk about the shows that they do. The first of which is Vixen. Vixen does a show called Kitsuki, and she was the member of the D2Brigade that I contacted about this whole collaboration and affiliation thing. So Vixen is the self-proclaimed girly girl of the group, and she watches a lot of the shoujo or girly shows for the group, but also likes to do requests, and so she has a lot of series that she probably wouldn't have watched otherwise. And her reviews are fun, she likes to do a lot of weird things in them, and she also has a bit of an analytical eye and actually talks in detail about each series that she talks about, what makes it good, what makes it bad, in comparison to series that are similar that she's watched. While she's a bit newer to anime than some of the other members of the D2Brigade, she is full of passion and does a lot of the work for the site. I see her in the forums all the time at the D2Brigade, and she just has a lot of passion for what she's talking about and the anime she watches. Next we have Yesu Talk, the original reason we came to know the Desu Brigade, and probably their most popular member. She makes very analytical reviews, probably based a bit on her knowledge of film and production because that's what she's studying in university. She is meticulous, she always knows what she's talking about, and has very fair reviews of every series she watched. She has done tons of reviews throughout her lifetime at Desu Brigade and even beforehand, and has joined ANN, the Anime News Network, and theguyWithTheGlasses.com as reviewers for both of those sites as well. So I mean, she is exploding onto the anime scene. She's an amazing reviewer, and I highly recommend her reviews. Next we have Arcada, also called Arcadian Phoenix, who does the show Glass Reflection. And so he's also a bit of an analytical reviewer, and his reviews do have a bit of lightheartedness to them, and he tends to delve very quickly into the nitty-gritty of what he feels was good and he feels was bad about the series. So you get his direct opinion about what he thought about the series from each perspective. So you're not getting a whole shebang of lighthearted things about the series. No, he gets right into the detail work, right into what makes the series good in his opinion, what makes the series bad. And so if you're just looking for a flat-out opinion about if you should watch a series or not, he's a great person to go to. And lastly, we have Professor Otaku, who does anime dissection. He's the leader of the D2Brigade, and he's the only one of them who actually doesn't show his face in his videos. Instead, he has flavorful animations of an animated character of himself that does all the different emotions that he's trying to show throughout his reviews. His are probably the most sarcastic and snarky of the reviews, and he tends to review a little bit more obscure series. So his are interesting if you're looking for a different kind of series that you probably wouldn't see in everyday life. So that is the D2Brigade and their specific shows. Each of them is amazing at what they do, and all of them are definitely worth checking out. The D2Brigade site itself also runs a podcast called Desu Rattle, and Desu Rattle is when all four reviewers get together and they talk about what they've been watching that week, their discussions. It's very similar to our Anime Weekly. So if you're into that kind of thing and you want to listen to an hour-plus long podcast where they're talking to each other, this is a great place to go. I enjoy listening to it every week in the background while I'm doing other things, as it's just a fun thing to listen to a conversation about anime. They also take a ton of viewer questions, so if you have any questions to ask them, you can get it directly answered in that show. And on top of that, they do tons of extra stuff for the site. They have PokeSpot, which is run by the 5th member of the D2 Brigade, Malachi, and it talks about Japanese culture and different things related to it. You also have OVA 101, where they talk about different OVAs. You have Let's Play, which different members of the D2 Brigade play video games and show you through their progress, as well as Yesu Talk's top 20 videos, where she goes through top 15 to top 20s of different things she's interested in. So that is a quick look at what the D2 Brigade has to offer. I definitely recommend checking out their site and seeing what they have to offer. If you're looking for more anime reviews, more stuff to check out, that is definitely the place to go, and I'm sure you'll have a great time. So, if you have any questions, comments, or requests for Aniview, you can send them to aniview@hotmail.com or send us a comment on our YouTube page. If you want to talk to us on our forums, you can go to them at aniviewreviews.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.